Welcome to the Dice Tower.
And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Airlines Europe is, I guess, a reprint of Union Pacific, which itself was a reprint of Airlines. Well, either way, it's a new game from Alan Moon, although it's not really new, although it's certainly a reworking. Now, I haven't played any of the other games. I played Union Pacific, and this game has a lot in common with that, and we're not here to talk about all the differences, but I'll say this briefly. It's a very streamlined version of Union Pacific, adds some money, takes away the track system in a sense, which was kind of annoying, changes it from America to Europe, which isn't that big of a difference, changes it from trains to airplanes, which again, functionally, it acts the same. But I've always thought Union Pacific was a good game. I think Airlines is much better. Again, with the opinion at the beginning of the review. Well, let's take a look at it and I'll show you why I like this game so much. Before we start, I have to mention how much I like the box for this game. Not only does it have a spot for all the different pieces, but you're going to be pulling these pieces out of here and you can actually use this as the game progresses. So it's a box that actually has function rather than just storing the pieces. It can be used as a tray to the side, and it's a very good one. So here's the board, which is a map of Europe, and it shows several different companies and their starting cities on the board. For example, the red company, the Days of Flying Wonders, starts in Paris. And I have to say that it's pretty cool how each of the different companies has a name that's similar to one of the companies that's produced a game by the designer of this game, Alan Moon. Here we have Air Amigos, etc. Now, each of these companies is a different starting spot, and each of these companies also is on a track down here showing the value of that company. So let's start with that first. No player owns these companies, but you're trying to get shares in the different companies. Now, let's say a scoring card comes up. In the deck, there's scoring cards, and they're put in the deck at various points. When a scoring card comes up, each player is going to check the number of shares they have in each company. So let's take white here, for example. White is the most valuable company at this point in time. It's in this shaded area, though, so it's pretty much the same value as green, orange, and gray. They're all in that same shaded area. Whoever has the most white shares is going to get 3 points. And points are given out token-wise like this, and you just keep them hidden. That's how you keep track of points. The second most shares gets 2, then 1, and then 0. But you can see as we progress around the board and as the company's values go up, those numbers go up exceedingly all the way up to, focusing on the other side of the board, a 16, 8, 4, 2, and 1. So you can get a lot of points if a company goes up tremendously in value. So that's what players are reaching for. Now, how do they do that? On a player's turn, they're going to do several things. They're going to have a couple shares that they started the game with in front of them. But on player's turn, they can spend money to make one of these airlines bigger. So let's say, for example, I wanted to make the purple airline bigger. So let's take a closer look here at the purple area. Now, purple starts in Vienna here, and it can extend on any of these 5 routes. You always go on the cheapest possible route here. So I could put it on this 3 here, and I'd pay 3 million euros to the bank, or 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. All of them, it's 3. So if I connect that route, that's 3, and then we would go down here to the track, and purple would move up 3 spots in value. Now, on my turn, when I play an airplane card, I'll play an airplane like that out. I have to pay for it, and I am allowed to build a second route if I want to. So let's say then I decided that purple was going to continue and fly down to Rome, and now I put on the 4. So purple has just got a value of 7. Of course, I had to put that value out of my own pocket. Each color can only have 1 airplane between any 2 cities, and if all the spots are filled up, then an airplane cannot go in that city. And all your airplanes have to be connected. There are some cities like over here. You can see down here at the bottom, if you can eventually fly down this one, it costs 8. It's expensive, but you're the only person who can build on that one. Now, each company has a different amount of airplanes. So some companies have a chance to expand a lot more than other ones. Those companies are listed on the shares. So you can see here that the Days of Flying Wonder, well, they have 13, so their company can expand quite a bit. While the orange company here, it's Fun Again to Fly, which is also a great place to buy this game, by the way, has 9. And that's how many shares are in the deck also. Now, the smaller companies still have an advantage, though. If you notice I just talked about Orange being a small company. If Orange manages to connect to London, they will get a bonus of 6 to the value of their company. The 4 smallest companies, Orange, White, Gray, and Green, have one of these special destinations on the board that if you connect to that. And you'll also notice that if you're the last person to build a route between cities, you can make it more valuable. Now, after a player does that, they take a share. They can take it from the top of the pile, or they can take one of the face-up shares over here, and they're going to put that share in their hand. So that's one of the actions you can take on your turn, is placing an airplane between cities, or 2, paying the money for that, and taking a share. Of course, taking a share could always make the scoring card come up. There's several of them inserted in the deck. In the deck, not the desk. Anyway, another action you can do is you can place shares in front of you. Now, you are allowed to place 2 different shares in front of you from your hand, or you may place as many shares as you want of one color in front of you. When you do this, you get $2 million for each share that you placed in front of you. So that's one of the ways to get money. Another way to get money is simply just to take $8 million on your turn. So taking money is another action you can do. And then the final action you can do is you can invest in Airabacus, or Abacus, or however you say it, stock. Now, this is an airline that's huge, but this airline is not actually on the board anywhere. Instead, if we look all the way across the board and upside down, you can see that when the different scoring cards come up throughout the course of the game, the first, second, and third scoring card, you will score points depending on how many shares you have of this company. When you get these shares, basically, you have to discard other shares from your hand to take shares of Airabacus. And so that's basically the game. There's a few other things. The bank can go bankrupt and then everyone might lose some money. But the game is going to end after the 3rd scoring, and whoever has the most points at that time is the winner. There's a lot that I like about this game. I like the whole push your luck aspect to it, where basically you're sitting there and you are saying, okay, I want to put down shares of this company, but at the same time, there's many other things I want to do. And if I put the shares down in the company, everyone knows I'm going for that company, and so they'll do their best to either block it off so it can't get the good ones, or they're not going to help it grow. And you're racing everyone else, trying to control these different companies, and since there's so many different companies, I believe there's 10 different companies, plus the Abacus company, that's 11 companies that you can be in. There's a lot of competition going around between the different companies. And just the growing the companies, it's an interesting idea, because when I grow a company, I'm spending my money to do so. You're not spending your money to do it. I'm spending the money to make that company bigger, and hopefully it won't benefit you. But the whole track around the board with the points printed right on there, very streamlined, very easy. The production, very beautiful. Putting it down, explaining it. There's so many good things to say about this game. I can't think of really anything negative to say about it. It's just a great production. If you've never had a chance to play this, this is the kind of share-style game. I used to compare its predecessor, Union Pacific, to Acquire. This has taken a step away from Acquire in many different ways, but in a sense I like it more because of the theme, because of the give and take, and just because of the fantastic production.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.